We must stop the terror. Now watch this drive.
Why are you gay? You are gay.
Welcome to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. Ladies and gents, we're here, we're queer. A lot of great things coming up for you this weekend. Edmonton, Alberta, February 15th, February 16th, Las Vegas, Nevada, February 23rd, Calgary, Alberta, March 7th, Cornwall, Ontario, March 8th, Ottawa, Ontario, March 22nd, Brooks, Alberta, March 28th, Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, March 29th, Swift Current, Saskatchewan, April 4th, Drayton Valley, Alberta. April 11th, Mayleg, Alberta. April 12th, Lloydminster. April 25th and 26th, St. John's, New Brunswick. April 27th, Fredericton, New Brunswick. May 9th in Hannah, Alberta. May 10th in Medicine Hat, Alberta. June 6th and 7th in Kelowna, BC. That'll be my first ever headlining weekend on my own, ladies and gents. 6th and 7th of June. It should be quite the feat. Yes, going to spread my wings a little bit. Oh boy, he's a real comic. Oh my Lord, 5 years into this, he's finally going for it, huh? Good for him. Exclusive version of the Uncle Hack Podcast waiting for you on the Patreon right now. Patreon.com/DangerCat69. All merch available at DangerCatsShop.com. Let's get into the show. Very successful. We, what I would like to say, defeated the mainstream media. Not too many comics taking on the mainstream media. Isn't that what we're saying these days? You know, many folks are very untrustworthy of CBC and all, you know, you name it, CTV, anything associated with mainstream in the nation. There is a complete distrust for it. And folks right now, I think, are kind of done with it from what why are you being difficult with me? There we go. There, much better. But I believe that a lot of folks are kind of over it. Every time that there is something in the news, we've noticed now that people. First off, let's discuss. I went into depth more into the whole Hamilton scenario on the latest episode of the Patreon, but there is a great appreciation that I have for the fans that are willing to go through this, what I would consider an irritating process to even get to the show. I think we can call it that. I think we can all agree that when it goes from, okay, we're going to this location, then you get an email and it's like, oh, actually it's going to be here. Oh, actually, I'm just going to email you the location of the show 2 hours before it even starts. So you just got to be on standby now. But people still come. People still come out and they support and they want to see the show. They want to come and laugh with us. Even given the barriers and the blockades that are set in front, they will make the sacrifice of their evening to come out and enjoy a night of laughter with us, which is something that I'm very appreciative of. I don't think that there's a lot of people in the nation that are fans of something that's like Canadian born and bred to the degree where they will go through this irritating process just to have an evening of laughter with us. You know, and I'm not going to excuse any of it for, you know, trying to save face here or whatever. But no, there is a great appreciation of the folks out there that do just want to see what we're up to, see what we're doing, see what the show is, see what the hoopla is. And maybe you read about us in the news and you're like, oh my God, what is going on here? And for the first time ever, we've actually had what I would consider a journalist come and watch the show who, you know, I believe that she has just a very unbiased view on a lot of things. Now, there has been moments where she's been personally attacked, and then now it's like we're exposing these people for who they truly are. But her reporting online is very interesting, showing up to the protests and just recording it and seeing what people are saying. There isn't really like, there's a small portion of like interviews, but I just find her content interesting because it kind of shows what's truly happening on the ground, and you can make your own opinion of it. And Karima Saad showed up to our show. And it was nice to finally have somebody that, does report with what I would consider an unbiased opinion. I mean, apart from the people trying to attack her, and, I get that you got to defend your character at times. And it's kind of nice to see things kind of turn corner finally. It was a very interesting year. I think that the economic benefit of having us come through your venue, it exceeds the backlash, I guess, for the lack of better term, that comes with it. And many folks now are, the idea of democracy is, I would consider it dead at this moment in time. And most people now are voting with their dollars, and they are supporting people that are similar to them. And these business owners that do, they aren't even trying to get political by any means. They're just looking for a way to make a buck. And it's unfortunate that those that aren't going to support that business, whether they cancel an event of ours or not, it's upsetting for them, because not only does somebody like the media come in and put their venue on blast for hosting us by writing these articles, and the true intention, is to, I believe, like, you don't just write that without any intent of trying to sabotage the show. I don't believe that you're just wholeheartedly trying to, make the community aware that 3 doorknobs from Alberta are coming out to tell jokes, and then you slander our character by equating all this nonsense that surrounds the comedy. Then these venue owners are then, like, here's one thing. I talked about it briefly on I'm really trying to push the Patreon on you here. So I talked about it briefly. I'm trying to be a shill. Like, it's hard enough to make $1. I gotta pump some stuff here. I gotta pump some stuff. You know what I mean? I gotta, yeah. Wouldn't it be nice, like, if I didn't have to go through the rigorous battle of trying to find a venue that will allow us to perform our comedy? It would be great. And if I could not do that and just sit here and podcast all the time, that would just be phenomenal. That's why I'm pushing the Patreon on you. Like, fall off your wallet, why don't you? No. But I see this now. I see, like, the counter argument against us now is that, well, you can have freedom of expression, but not freedom of consequence. But then here's the mathematical problem that sits in my head that I don't quite understand, is like, now you're saying, like, okay, I can have freedom of expression, but not there's no freedom of consequence that comes with that. But then where do we draw the line between, like, okay, is them hosting us a bad idea? Or is it a good idea? Is it economically benefiting them, or is it not? Or is it, people that are coming forward and harassing the venue and showing up there and screaming and yelling at people because, we're coming through town? Is that more wrong than what we say on a stage for laughter? Where in this is the wrong? That's what I'm trying to decipher in my own head. I'm trying to, make sense of that, because right now this timeline that we're in makes zero sense to me whatsoever, because the people that are taking us in are immigrants. Immigrants are the only ones right now that, like, wrap their arms and be like, come on, don't worry about it. We do not care. And it's kind of bulletproof too, and hilarious, because then this whole, these reporters that are writing these egregious and outrageous articles about us, it deflates their idea that somehow, that this is some sort of fucking race war that I'm a part of. The East Indian dudes are the ones that are being like, hey, yeah, fucking, I don't care. Come in, tell your jokes. I don't give a shit. Do they drink beer? They drink a lot of beer. Okay, good, great, grand, beautiful. The honkies are the ones that are scared of it the most. But behind closed doors, they're the ones talking about it the most, when it comes to like racial stuff, is they moonlight as a good person, but in reality, they're, behind, these fucking, and then that's not like the battle I'm trying to get in. It's just like the hypocrisy of these people. It blows my mind. It's like, if that's how you think and feel, then think and feel it. Speak freely. Don't be such a coward. Just say what's on your mind. That's how we're in the position that we are, I think collectively as a group, is we mask our true thoughts and feelings. And if we can't like get through that and start discussing that, then I think we're just going to be spinning our tires in the mud for quite some time. And I know, like, to even bring these topics up is very uncomfortable. And a lot of people want to dismiss it and just skirt by it, or they just smile, nod, haha, yeah, like, and I'm not saying go out and scream like fucking to the skies about like the Jews control the weather or the whatever nonsense. Yeah, everything's fucking, I'm not saying like go and stand outside of a city hall screaming death to Canada. That's not what I'm advocating for here. But I'm saying, like, when are we going to get to the point where we can just discuss this instead of like, because what I'm realizing now is even with what we've went through, and there was moments of darkness, and I felt cheated a little bit. And that's my own personal feelings. Other people can think whatever they wish as well. I'm open to ideas here. Let's spitball a little bit. But I think that this idea of online activism is kind of, it's slowly holding no water. I think that we've allowed the internet to control too much of reality, when in turn, like, the internet, it can be so deceiving, and there's too many dumb people that fall for very, 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 for material that is clearly like trolling material. There's troll accounts that are there to like, they make their money off of engagement, and you just get sucked into it. But that's my own thoughts and feelings. We'll get over that, right? We'll move along. What is this, a fucking Dr. Phil show? What are we doing here? What is it? Is this therapy hour? Is that what it is? Grow up. I've got something to confess to. I stole Uncle Laser's merch. That's right. It was me. Maybe you've seen it. Maybe you didn't, but I did it. And I don't regret it at all. I'm putting it out in the ether. I have it. All 4 boxes sitting right there. It's on my Instagram story. Go look at it. I don't care. It's war. There's only room for one uncle in this town, and I'm waging war on you. You want it? You want your merch? You come get it. It's in Edmonton, Alberta. You flying up here? Strap on your cowboy boots. Come on up here and get your merch. All right? I know, I lied. I didn't donate it to a bathhouse in the Palisades. I did not do that. That's a lie. I will say that, but I did steal it. I stole it. I stole your merch. This is my way of fighting back with this tariff war. So that's the tariff, and I'm gonna tariff off some sleeves and tariff some of these shirts in half day by day until you come and pick them up. I don't know how many are there, but every day I'm gonna rip one in half. That's my way of showing patriotism right now against the Trump administration that's currently trying to impose 25% tariffs on our Canadian product crossing the border. That's my way of fighting back, because I went down to Santa Fe, New Mexico. I stole Uncle Laser's merch. I flew it back, and now it's sitting in the unofficial Danger Cats warehouse, which just so happens to be my kitchen. And you want it, come get it back. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But But to end on a fun, but to revert back to what I was speaking of earlier is I do want to say thank you to all the fans that have been rocking with us through all of this. You know, we may have lost some, we may have gained some. The push to be outside of what I would consider the normal path in Canadian comedy is, you know, and everybody's allowed to take their own path. And maybe in my journey here, you know, there's consequences that came with it as well, as like stepping outside of the box and trying to create something that isn't necessarily attached to the traditional way of doing comedy in this country. Because traditionally is like you would work your ass off, and you know, this is prior before the internet, and I give props to all of the comics before me that did this and got to where they are, wherever it may be that they are in their career. But there's now you're throwing new things into into this journey that can excel your career in different ways without having to do it in a traditional sense. If you know, you build an online following and you find places to go and do these shows wherever it may be. And I know some folks don't necessarily enjoy that. Some comics are they believe that the old way is the way to do it, and you get these festivals, and then hopefully you get these spots on you know, these major festivals, and hopefully it comes out Millhouse for you. And there's just a new way of going about it, and you can create and exist in your own realm now, which is, you know, I think is great. I think it's good for both sides of the industry to be in and out of it and not really under someone's thumb. You know, and this is like maybe where it gets me into a little bit of trouble by speaking about it, but you know, I think at the end of the day, if you're selling tickets and people are coming out and drinking and eating, I don't understand like why we allow politics or how people view shit. Like at the end of the day, you're just dragging out a different audience into a venue to make laugh. So to those that have been rocking with us throughout all of this and staying a fan of the brand and coming out and seeing me live, I truly appreciate it. I know it's probably not particularly the easiest to admit that you're fans of us due to what has been said about us in the media and the belief that you're supposed to have about, you know, somehow we're hosting Klan rallies or doing something insane like that, like we're dragging you to a secret location so we can give you a total fucking rundown on who's controlling the world. You know, like you're walking into like Alex Jones live, like that's what you're walking into. Like David Duke is opening for us. Like who knows? And next week we're gonna have the spokesperson for Hamas come out and rip a hot five. You know, like that's how diverse we are, is we just invite these insane characters and they do guest spots on our show. That's the truth. That's who we drag out. It's like, oh, you're the most banned man in fucking Gaza. You're the most dangerous man in Gaza. Do you got 5 minutes? Come on over. We're playing the community hall in Hanna, Alberta, and we need an opener. That's what this is. At the end of the day, I mean, if that's what they're going to write, I might as well lean into it a little bit. If I had a direct line to the Hamas leader, I don't even know his name, but if he's got 5 minutes worth of comedy, come on down, light it up. And that's why I like the state of the nation right now, because it's in a total free fall. And you know what? This is where we get into it. This is where we pop it off on the episode. Like right now, on an international stage, the view of Canada isn't the greatest. And now I know that it's difficult for some folks in this nation to wrap their head around that maybe the rest of the world doesn't see us as great as we do. And that comes with having federally funded media. You know, is the media going to write negatively about the current federal government? Of course they're not. That's how you end up with these polls that are slanted and being like, well, Mark Carney is going to be the next greatest prime minister that this country has ever seen, and it's projected that he's going to have a majority government. And it's like, okay, you're already starting it, you know? Because on the contrary, you have somebody like Pierre Poilievre who's out there screaming from the rooftop, we got to defund the fucking media. We got to defund the media, which if you're the media, you're probably not going to have a positive spin on the guy that's trying to take away your funding. That's probably not going to work out in your favor, understandably so. But what I'm trying to get at is like, we need to push some of these leaders or those that are running for leadership of the Liberal Party that it's going to make the decline of the nation at least not only fun, but hilarious. That's what I'm advocating for on this show today. I think that if we are going to watch the destruction of the nation, it needs to be in the funniest way possible. And like this, the only person that comes to mind right now that deserves any attention is Ruby Dhalla. I don't know if any of you were paying attention to what this woman is up to on Twitter. It is the greatest thing I've ever seen. It's a fake CEO of some fucking corporation that they own hotels, the rundown Super 8s, whatever it is, some trash motel out in fucking Westlock, Alberta. I don't know where she owns her hotels, by the way, but you can view it. She's the CEO of the Dhalla Group, which is involved with investing in hospitality, medical, and I can't remember what else. But this woman's background is hilarious. You know, like we've already went through the humility that comes with Trudeau, right? We've already went with that. Mark Carney is not going to be fun. There's no mocking to be had there. He's a politician and a businessman through and through. So, you know, like, is the past dark as Trudeau's face? I highly doubt it, which is not enjoyable for me. It's not enjoyable. This Nepo hire that we had with Justin was fun, okay? He was a ski instructor at one point. And then on top of it, a drama teacher. And then these photos come out that he's painted himself up like 4 or 5 times. That's brilliant. That's what we needed for the nation because it was like, it's too, I don't know. Like you go to, you know, you remember when you were a kid and you go to dinner parties with your parents and they sit around a table, like nothing destructive is happening. Nothing enjoyable. Nothing you as a child would find enjoyable about this party. But then you go to one that's a little more chaotic, like you go over to your uncle's house who's a little out there, just got released from prison, and now he's going to have a house party to celebrate, right? That gets a little out of control, and that's what you want because it's more entertaining and like the visuals that you get from this. Guys are falling through coffee tables, you know, drunk guys are trying to give you advice. That makes no fucking sense, and these are not the people that should be giving you advice. That is more entertaining. And that came with Trudeau, is that we had some lunatic running around and then there's like sexual assault allegations, the scandals. It was everything you wanted to keep yourself interested in politics, where I don't believe that Mark Carney comes with that. Many people don't even know about his history with the Bank of Britain. And a lot of folks over there attributed, you know, an economic downfall during the Brexit era to him. But to that, you're like, who cares, right? You don't care about that. Who's talking economy talk these days? Are we walking around talking about the economy? No. Mouth breathers like myself need something that's visually stimulates my brain. Like Trudeau in blackface. I will forever laugh at that image, you know? And that's what captivates me. That's what brings me into the discussion to want to talk politics. I don't want to talk about foreign policy. Are you nuts? Are you nuts? You think I want to sit around some dive bar table discussing foreign policy? The relationship we have with China? What? No. I want some housewife drama. That's what I want. I don't want to sit here and try and talk about, healthcare. Healthcare? It's already bad. The only option I have for a shimmer of happiness in this country is an opioid addiction. And when that gets out of hand, I'll just walk in and be like, hey, MAIDS program, sign me up. That's my checkout policy. Come on. But with Ruby Dhalla, this is who we need to be propping up. I like it. The delusion this woman has is exactly what we need for some excitement in this country again. Our excitement over Trudeau, it's kind of exhausted itself. We don't know even really if he's running the country. Parliament's not in. There's nothing happening. We don't know what's going on. Nobody knows. There's no discussions happening in the House of Commons that we can clip something and get angry at. So it's boring right now. It's absolutely boring. And that's where I turned my sights over to Ruby Dhalla, who has this incredible amount of confidence for somebody who shouldn't even be in the discussion. Like, there's a tweet that she had, and I could not stop laughing, that she was going to go and have a discussion, have a little chat with Donald Trump when she's elected. She said when she's elected, she's going to sit down and ask for the United States to be the 11th province. This is the type of confidence that we need, and it'll be hilarious. Hilarious. This pseudo fucking CEO that runs motels across the nation is going to step to the plate and try and have a trade war with Donald Trump. Keep in mind, this woman is a chiropractor. That's what she went to school for. Got second place in Miss India Canada. And she only lost because she shaved her mustache. And the other lady, they were like, well, that's more natural for the other one. So they gave her second place. That's rude, I know. I know. That's how I end up in the position that I am, making jokes like that. But Ruby, on the other hand, let's get to know Ruby, ladies and gents. This is, she was born. This is exactly who we need running the nation. It's folks like this that will make me excited for politics. Like I said, nobody's discussing policy. Who's discussing the only reason we had something to hate for a while was this anti-pipeline drama teacher that stepped to the plate, who was pro-Quebec for the longest time, and all these clips came out. You can tell he's like, a pathological liar, which you can see through. You can just sense that, like, he's just a fucking dork. You get a vibe from him that naturally you just don't like him right out of the gate, and that's what we needed. Where Ruby is a lot more entertaining than Mark Carney or Karina Gold, who we'll talk about after. Like, this is something that would excite the nation again. The first ever Indian woman to run the country. If we're going to put this plane in the ground, and I don't mean that to be racial by any means, this is not a joke, it's a hypothetical, because we all know who was behind 9/11. The Jews. No. No. It's a joke. That's a joke. That's a joke. This is not that type of show. Knock it off. It's not that. This is not that type of show. You pump the brakes with that fucking David Icke shit. Okay? This is not the Alex Jones Hour. We're not on InfoWars. This is the Uncle Hack Podcast. Nothing I say or do should be ever taken serious. And that's the problem. Everybody looks at me and takes what I say serious. This guy's a moron. Honestly, we're going to take a second here. Anybody who has to, as a grown, now keep in mind, I'm 34 years old, right? I have a pseudonym, Uncle Hack. You know, people know me as Uncle Hack when I walk through the streets, you know? Hey, or Danger Cats guy. Danger Cats guy. You know, like this is what I'm referred to as. Danger Cats guy. All right? So when I look at these articles that people are writing, I look at these things that they're saying, right? And I have to scratch my head at times and think to myself, as another grown adult, when you sit down and start clacking keys on your keyboard, do you think to yourself at 1 second, this is not what I went to school for? This is not what I went to school for? You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get my point across of being like, how dumb does it sound when it's like, yeah, I understand that they leave Danger Cats out of the headline, because if you wrote Danger Cats comedy coming to town, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? What is this, a cartoon from the 80s? What is this? What was there, improv troupe coming? What, do they dress up as cats and like fake pay, squat in sandboxes? Are these furries? Is a furry convention in town? Because if there is, I'm getting my shotgun. Because a lot of people, like, I'll admit, a lot of people don't know who the hell we are. Rightfully so. I get that. But when you read Danger Cats, you know, try telling your grandfather that a group of grown men refer to themselves as the Danger Cats and they're coming to town to tell jokes and it has everybody upset. Your grandpa would probably shake his head, and I can't believe I fought a fucking war for this. This is what I fought a war for? Everybody's upset by a bunch of grown-ass men that call themselves the Danger Cats? And what, am I supposed to be upset? I had to stab Nazis in the forehead. All right? I had to stab Nazis in the forehead. And these jerk-offs are being equated to that? What are they doing? Are they rounding people up? No. Well, kinda. They round them up to sell them tickets to tell them, like, these jokes about jizz dripping from their eyebrows. And it's like, I need you to shut up right now before I get angry. I need you to quit talking to me about these grown-ass men that go by this name, you know? And then, like, that, we're going to leave it at that. Let's get to know the next Prime Minister of Canada, Ruby Dhalla, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is going to be wonderful. This is going to be beautiful. I can't wait to introduce you all to her. There we go.
But a few Indian ones are making the noise. The first is Ruby Dhalla. She was born to Punjabi immigrants in Winnipeg.
The best, you know, the lying that comes with politicians. Now, we just seen that this photo, right? You look at and then you see her interviews. Hilarious. I'm not about to dog anybody on their looks because I'm no supermodel myself, but to portray yourself as like supermodel status, like obviously this is an old photo. It's like when comedians use headshots from the 90s and then you see him and be like, this guy looks like he's fucking 80. This guy's 80 years old and he's using a 30-year-old headshot. You know, like, yeah, she don't look like this no more. Unless this is a recent photo and it's been dolled up a little bit, which I appreciate and we'll get later.
Born to Punjabi immigrants in Winnipeg. At the age of 10, she wrote a letter to then Indian Prime Minister Indira Gandhi.
Beautiful.
It was about Operation Blue Star, and Gandhi even personally replied to her.
Oh.
In 1993, she took part in the India-Canada beauty pageant. She even acted in a Hindi movie before becoming a chiropractor.
Hey.
Soon after, she ventured into politics. From 2004 to 2011, Dhalla served as a Member of Parliament for the Brampton-Springdale constituency. She made history with her tenure, and now she hopes to make history again by becoming the first Indian origin woman to become the Canadian Prime Minister. And what's on Dhalla's agenda? She's already made her key campaign promise.
This is great.
She wants to deport illegal immigrants and clamp down on human traffickers.
There are...
You can't make this up, folks. She wants to deport illegal immigrants as, an Indian, they say an Indian herself, which, again, I'm back to my point as if I'm going crazy here, but make the timeline make sense. You have someone like Ruby running for the Prime Minister of Canada who's taking a stance of like, we're going to deport him. We're going to deport you. Like, who? Hilarious. I almost had a spit take when I was initially watching this report from, where is it? It's some fucking first choice news or whatever. I don't know. It's out of India. And when she was talking about, I almost had a spit take. Her illegal immigrant, we're deporting. We are deporting. That's what we're doing. That's what we're saying. And we're sticking by it. We're deporting them. I'm lost for words.
Over 500,000 illegal immigrants in Canada. This is unacceptable. As the daughter of immigrant parents, I know firsthand that immigrants have helped build our great country. But we must clamp down on human trafficking and those that are here illegally. As your Prime Minister, I promise you, I will.
I love a good botched lip injection. This is what we need at the forefront. Is just somebody so ingrained with themselves and their the betrayal of their image to the country that we can't leave the house without smoky eyeshadow. Still getting lip injections, still in the idea that I'm a model, I'm an actor. All of this is still relevant in my pursuit to be Prime Minister. We were sold a lie with Trudeau because we were enamored with his beauty, right? We can all agree when he first got into politics, he came in with the hair and he kind of had that, guy. That's a guy that walks in the room and you're like, I immediately, as another male, I don't like that guy. You just look at him and you're like, I don't like that guy. Just for looks by itself. And women across the nation were captivated by his beauty. And that is what I believe got a lot of ladies out to go out and vote for him. And then you had the free weed, and it was like this free spirit hippie that was a drama teacher and a snowboard instructor. And these are all things that you will look at and be like, he's just a free spirit being. But meanwhile, you're sold a lie, and we can all admit that we were sold the lie, right? We even as a voter, even as one of his supporters, his approval rating is like, it's at an all-time low. We were sold the lie. We bought it because of the beauty mask that was on top of it. And now you have this lady doing the same, like still trying to capture that image that she had as a young woman, trying to thrive in Bollywood films, not winning, getting second place in a beauty pageant. Then moving on to being a chiropractor. She's accomplished a lot. She's a CEO of a financial group that invests in hospitality. This woman has done it all, and now she's chasing it down. This is the best version of Donald Trump that we can possibly get. There are no reality TV stars in this country, okay? We have to rely on Bollywood film stars, all right? We have to. Nobody's watching anything produced in Canada. Who watches Big Brother Canada? Idiots that are waiting for Big Brother America to come out. That's who. this offshoot brand of reality series here in the country that we try to like emulate with the American entertainment industry always fall flat. We have no celebrities in the country. Anybody of substance has left in the pursuit of making it in the American entertainment industry. Anybody with a brain, right? Even TikTokers are leaving. Call Me Chris left the country. Streamers are leaving. XQC, I just seen him, the streamer out of Montreal. He was having a conniption over him paying 57% tax. So you can bet your sweet ass that I'd imagine that they would gladly accept him in America for the amount of money that he creates and generates. And they will take his tax dollars at a discount. That's a rant. So this is what we're left with. You know, something similar in the same realm of Donald Trump, right? A reality TV star. He's a WWE Hall of Famer. The list goes on. This man is a mogul in real estate, but this is our version of it. This is as close as we're ever going to get to it. Ruby Dhalla, all right? A Bollywood movie actor, chiropractor, and owner of a Motel 6 in Westlock, Alberta. That's what we're going to get out of this, folks. So sign up. Get on the bandwagon because this is as good as it's going to get when it comes to the leadership race of the Liberal Party. And it gets more interesting.
Deport every illegal immigrant in Canada. Canada's comeback starts now.
But she's not the only Indian origin politician in the race. Meet Chandra Arya. He was born in the Indian state of Karnataka.
All of them cannot, this is the funniest part, is none of them speak French. None of them can speak French. And Ruby was just denied a French translator for the Liberal debate. So she was denied a translator what was it? Chandra was, he was doing an interview and they were asked, can you speak French? And he was like, no. Are you going to, it's part of like the party's policy. He's like, no, just no. It's like when you go to Tim Hortons and you can clearly see there's a chocolate chip cookie and you're like, can I get a chocolate chip cookie? And they're like, we are all out. They just, the confidence to lie. Meanwhile, the truth just sits in front. Is like something that I wish I could double down on the way that like Indian immigrants will do so. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. As much as it irritates me in the moment, later on in that day, I always have a chuckle at it. It's like, hey, can I get, where was I? And we're like, we don't have that. And it's like, what do you mean you don't have that? I'll get an ice cap. We don't have that. What? That's the machine right there. And we're like, we don't have that. And they'll argue with you, even though you know you're right, and they know like they're probably wrong. Their confidence, like their false confidence, is so high, which I enjoy. Like this is the tweet that I was talking about earlier that had me in stitches, where Ruby is. Look at this. As Prime Minister of Canada, I will invite real Donald Trump to join Canada as the 11th province or 4th territory. This. You know what Dr. Ruby Dhalla. It's like fucking two grown men where it's like, you're not really, you know, and Charlie Sheen's brother is like, well, he was a chiropractor and he's like, doctor, I'm a doctor. And you're like, well, you're a chiropractor. It's kind of like pseudoscience, you know. Does it work? Does it not? We can't prove it. You know, the cracking and all that sounds great, but at the end of the day, I still feel like shit, doc, you know. Can you prescribe me some Percocets? That's how I distinguish on whether or not you're a real doctor. And with that comes, you know, other people in the Liberal leadership race it's not as fun. It's not as fun. Like Karina Gould. Gold? I don't even know her name. That's how little I care. But this Liberal leadership candidate, Gould, promises to open a path to basic personal income. That's what we need in the nation right now. Liberal MP Karina Gould says she would work towards establishing a basic personal income if she wins the party's leadership race next month. Gould is in Fredericton this morning visiting the city's food bank where she will speak about the policy. The Liberal, talk about garnering your fucking fan base based upon your policy. You know, like everybody who's down on their luck out in Fredericton looking to just score a couple extra, potatoes that they can slice up and be like, listen, you vote for me, I'll just hand you money. All right, fine. No need to worry about EI anymore. We'll put you on UBI, Universal Basic Income, so that way everybody's under our thumb. However, it was never appeared in a campaign platform. Okay, the Liberal grassroots have backed at least 4 resolutions for basic income programs at policy conventions, including by a vote of 77% at a virtual convention held in 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic. UBI is the worst idea. You are just inching closer and closer to full total government control. And then that's what they're looking to do to you here. And like, let's be honest too, the optics of this type of woman, let's open this image in a new tab and let's take a look at it together as a family. You look at her, and there's nothing exciting of that past. There's nothing. What are we going to find out? That she read a naughty book for a book club? Huh? Is that what we're going to find out? What's dirty about this past? Nothing fun. Nothing fun. You go through her past and it was like, oh, well, she went to university. You go to Ruby Dhalla's Wikipedia, scandal, 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 controversy, controversy, controversy. That's what I want. Something to discuss at the dinner table. This right here, what do you think this comes from? What did she accidentally, this is total, let me talk to the manager, look to her. What is it? Are we going to find out that one day she was at a Moxie's and complained that the fries were too cold, that they came out of the deep fryer a little too cold for her liking? Is that the worst thing that we're going to dig up? Trudeau's got blackface photos. He's smacked women in the tits. He's flipped their titties at music contest or fucking concerts, festivals. And then on top of it, he's claiming to be a feminist and he's just wiping his party clean of all women that want to say anything about him. That's what I want. I want the scandals. What does this come with? This is your typical white woman. This is a typical white woman in this nation. Boring, boring, boring. Wine party Wendy over here. Wenda. The fuck kind of name is that? That's how irritated I am just by her presence. There's nothing going on with the look. You're not trying to mask anything. There's no makeup. It's boring. This looks like a preschool teacher, Looks like somebody who would teach kids but secretly hates them after 10 years of being in the public education system. This is the type of person that I'm viewing right here in front of my eyes. Looks like a woman who has snide remarks that are so passive aggressive, but you can't hit her. You just can't hit her because you don't know where she's coming from when she's saying it. Everything about it annoys me. Everything about this annoys me. It's not fun. I don't want it. White women of this stature are zero fun. The worst I could dig up is she had deleted tweets of the Northern Gateway Pipeline. There's no fun in that. Oh, of course, we knew that she was anti-oil, pro-climate change. The moment you take a gander at that, you lay your eyes on that and you can read that like a book. That is a copy-paste white lady being pushed into politics. Sure, there's probably going to be scandals when it comes with, her being in the territory of being internationally linked with all these leaders because she worked for, Pro Mexico? She was something to do with international relations with the trade of Mexico. And sure, she's probably rubbed elbows with some very high up there elites. And sure, she probably goes to dinner parties with people that we don't even know their names, but have so much influence on the direction of how our lives are going to end up. Sure. And yes, will there be dollars siphoned off through government programs into her pockets and her friends' pockets, and we're all going to be lied to and say everything's going to be all right, and these social programs like UBI, all of a sudden billions of dollars go missing, and we scratch our heads and be like, well, we're too broke, we don't own guns, we can't do anything, we can't even put fuel in the truck to go and have ourselves another little chili cook-off out in Ottawa. You know, like you can't even afford the chili right now. You got to go to the fucking food bank line just to get the ingredients to cook the. It's a big process, is what I'm getting at. And that doesn't seem fun, does it? I want some psychopath screaming at Donald Trump that he's going to be the 11th province. That's what I want. I want delusion. I want something that's going to make me laugh. The destruction of the nation should be humorous. At the end of the day, we should all be laughing when it burns to the fucking ground, instead of having our hands out in a soup kitchen, being like, oh, can I have just an extra slice of bread? The government seemed to cut off my UBI because I tweeted something that was a little off color. And I hate to say it, but we're not going to see another Justin Trudeau in a while. You know, the closest we're going to get to it is probably Ruby. And let's be honest, it's not going to happen. She's not going to win the leadership race. It's already predetermined. We already know by the way that the media is speaking about Mark Carney that, you know, these Ipsos polls that are happening in certain locations across the nation. Oh, did that just happen? Yes, it did. That we are going to be years before we see another individual like someone like Justin Trudeau. We're years away from that. We are. Someone who's extremely underqualified for the job that comes with a hilarious background of tomfoolery. A political party can't afford to lose at this magnitude ever again. So the mockery of the next politician is going to be something so boring and gray and no flavor to it. You know, I mean, the mockery of Justin is going to follow him to his grave. And it will take a while for people to lose the connection between him and the Liberals. This is why I think we're seeing these fake polls pop up, constantly trying to, you know, change the image of the Liberal Party by having someone like Mark Carney out there. And then you have dorks like Pierre that are, oh, well, he's got $2,000 shoes. It's like, all right, enough. We all know you guys are criminals. You all wear designer suits. It's nothing new here, you know? And that's why the Canadian dream does not exist anymore. There is no Canadian dream of the white picket fence and owning a home and having a nice little family and the father works, mom stays home, takes care of it. It's no longer. There is no Canadian dream that is simple and baked in patriotism. It's out the window. And right now we're watching the left trying to charge up anybody that has an ounce of patriotism left in their soul. And that comes with an Indian woman running for prime minister. Because if we're going to watch this place destroy itself, let's make it fucking funny. Let's make it funny. And I thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Uncle Hack Podcast. Head on over to the Patreon, patreon.com/DangerCat69 for an exclusive episode. Wait for you. There should be 2 this week. And head on over to DangerCatShop.com for tickets to an upcoming show or merch. We appreciate you, and we will see you at an upcoming show. Thank you. Good night.